the other side.
Think of this. How many millennials do you have at your workplace? Do you already have a set perception about them? While many employers tend to shy away from working with this generation, Njeri Wangare marketing manager Geopol says the market is flooded with nothing but myths about millennials, a complete contrast of who they are and what they embody.
I think when it comes specifically to the African continent, the assumption has been that millennials in the African continent are similar to those in the US or in Europe or Asia. But what we see are the specific traits about millennials in Africa is that although the assumption has been that they are the majority and that they are young, they're actually not young, because Africa is a very young country. Actually, if Africa was to be given an age, it would be 19 years old. And what does that tell you? That Africa is actually a Generation Z, the generation after millennials. The other assumption has been that all millennials are on social media and that they are all connected. And what we see as the reality is that not all millennials are online, because the reality about Africa is that we're still plagued with infrastructure issues. Data costs are still very high, and so what we are seeing is the consumer segment of the millennials is the one that is this percentage is higher than that of other demographics, other age generations before them.
Working with millennials can be a walk in the park or an employer's worst nightmare. This is because this generation is wired differently and has a different way of getting work done. To this, Wangare says millennials are slowly reshaping the workplace by challenging old work ethics and introducing new technicalities to the workplace.
One of the biggest myths about millennials is that they are lazy, and basically it has stemmed from misunderstanding the millennial work ethic and shifting preferences when it comes to what do we look for in terms of career development as well as source of livelihood. Unlike our parents who were okay with having a job as a civil servant and working for, let's say, 30 years or for the entirety of their working life, millennials are not like that. We're looking for purpose. Millennials are looking for purpose. And so if that job does not give them a purpose, if they don't feel that they're finding purpose from that job they're doing, then they will not stick. And that is one of the reasons why you find that millennials, their work span, like the duration within which they can stay at a certain company, is not more than 2 years. Unless they're really finding purpose in that company, they will not stay for more than 2 years. And what we're seeing, even that concept of working an 8 to 5, because what a lot of millennials have found, the new opportunities that have been brought about by digital connectivity and digital communications. So what you'll find is that a lot of these jobs are online based. So to a millennial, it doesn't make sense for you to tell them, you need to come to the office at 8 o'clock, do the work that you would have done at home, because probably you have an equally good internet connection at home as you do in the office. And so as an employer, being able to understand those dynamics when it comes to millennials, that theirs is not so much, am I punching in and out? It is, how much work have I gotten done?
Businesses have not been spared either. Millennials are quickly disrupting the business world, with different sectors taking hits or gains, depending with how quickly they adapt to the shift in the consumer trends.
Looking at the hospitality industry, what we are seeing is the rise of the shift in preferences from millennials on. They're not looking at the services that are being offered, they're looking for an experience, especially when it comes to travel and entertainment and leisure. They're looking for experience. And this is why we're seeing the rise of startups like Airbnb, which has really been able to get its foot in the African continent and is resonating a lot with millennials. Because if you look at the business concept and the business strategy, it is all about co-creation. They don't own a single hotel. They don't own a single hotel room. But what they're doing is, together with those who put up their homes as listings on their site, you're able to build a product together that underscores co-creation, which a lot of millennials are looking for. They're looking to build a product with you that makes sense to them. So co-creation, which has a financial element to it, that they're able to benefit financially from it by putting up their homes. And the other aspect of it is being able to build an experience, because Airbnb has set itself up as the alternative for those looking to experience travel that is more in touch with the reality. You want to sort of have a feel of the day-to-day activities of the people that you're visiting.
However, with all the discomfort and uneasiness that comes with working with millennials, they are a potential market that the hospitality industry can tap into and make huge profits. The question is, how?
There are opportunities for co-creation. There are opportunities to engagement. And engagement entails quite a lot, because for you to engage, you have to be present and you have to be relevant. So the opportunity I see is in the hospitality industry, leveraging on the power of social media and the power of influencer marketing to be able to not only work with those in this space as influencers or marketers, but also to specifically target the millennial demographic.
A change is as good as a rest. However, when change knocks at your door, you either shape up or ship out. For businesses who would like to survive the millennial disruption, they must find a way of understanding the demographic and finding a way of relating their products and services to them.